Hello! So this weekend we made a live session recording in here, in this rather tiny basement room. This isn't normally what it's looking like in here, but for the occasion we tried to fit everyone and everything in here to make it possible to both play and also be able to film it. The studio versions of these songs hasn't been released yet, but they will be out this fall, I think, and they have been mixed by Sylvia Massey and they sound great and it's going to be awesome. So the studio version of the songs have lots of layers of synths, and we wanted to not replicate it, but we wanted to have like the same kind of vibe on this recording as well as the studio version. And so we ended up with quite a few synths. And the problem is you only have two hands. And to come by that, I'm going to show a few things that have made it possible to have it sound like more hands than people. But before we dive into that, I can just show what we have here. We have the Behringer Monopoly that Stefan plays on one occasion on one of the songs, doing some filter sweeps. Mikael, who sings, also plays the Behringer vocoder, as well as the OB6 and the mode matriarch. He has this neat little thing going here. So the matriarch is mostly or only for bass, and the OB6 for pads, and the vocoder is doing vocoder stuff. And I have a few synths over here, the Behringer Poly D and the DeepMind. I have the Odyssey sitting here on top of the Nord. This is just for organs. This is basically just having one sound. It's this thing. I wish it had longer decay time, but it's what it is. Korg MS-20 Mini. It's also somewhat of a one-trick pony. Yeah, basically a wind machine. I have the I have the Proteus 2000 that I use for mellotron sounds. That's always stacked with this little thing, the Solina, that's on the floor here. I have the 2600 clone that I use for arpeggios, and I guess my two main keyboards are the Fender Rhodes Mark 1 and the Poly 6 with Modopoly mod, so I can use a sustain pedal. Very nice. I didn't actually use the Poly 6 at all before I had that mod installed. So now I have MIDI out as well as sustain pedal. I really need sustain pedal for how I play, so it was a game changer. And up here I have the Poly D that I play for all lead tones. It's amazing, absolutely terrific synth, with one exception, and that is the aftertouch does not control the mod wheel, or they can't share function. And so I had to build this little box thing to make that possible, because I wanted to be able to play with one hand here and one hand here. And so I used the Aftertouch Pressure CV and making this Arduino send out the corresponding CC notes back into the synth, thinking it's a mod wheel. So what happens is when I play, I get aftertouch. It's very neat. And now, since I also have the sustain pedal mod and I wanted to use the Poly 6 as my master keyboard, there was a problem with the Solina, a totally amazing string machine in every sense, except that it doesn't support sustain pedals. And so I have a few boxes that's just hanging here. This one, this little box have an input and an output, and a throughput, also sort of Arduino based. And what it does is that it's listened to sustain pedal input, and it buffers the note off signals until the sustain pedal is released. So what you can do is you can hold the note pretty good. I really wish that was the original configuration, but it's not. But this works too, I guess. Another box that I have hanging here is the arpeggiator box. It has the same input, output and through as the Solina, and I've made it so you can control like speed, gate time and patterns and all of that with CC. I also made some filters so you can filter out low notes or all kinds of things. It also supports sustain pedal, so I can do this to control and send arpeggios to this one. And since it supports CC, I can send in real time, change patterns and things. And now for the brains of this whole synth setup. This is a MIDI router thing that I made. The MIDI out goes to all keyboards in this setup almost, with the exception of the Poly D and the Odyssey and the Korg. The input is coming from the Poly 6, and this lets me program the whole setup dynamically, sending multiple CCs at the same time, as well as routing and muting and all of that. And to send CC messages to the router, I'm using this Stream Deck. I'm not using the native software, but Companion. So that works pretty well. I can make program changes. That's pretty convenient to have, since the DeepMind doesn't have any like patch buttons. And here is the web interface that I use to communicate with the router. It reads and writes using sys6. So I think this was probably the most convenient way to do it. And so the router have all these kinds of tasks that it can do. And so, for example, if I send value 0 to the router, it will route the input, the source, channel 1 to channel 2. So here it will send the poly 6 to channel 2. If I send the CC value 1, it will change program on channel 2 to 14. I can also route to multiple channels. So for example, if I send the CC value to the router of 5, I will route channel number 1, that's the poly 6, to 3, 7, and 8 at the same time. Now, one problem with the routing, as I'm sure you're familiar with, is that if you change channel and you're holding a note or you're holding a sustain pedal, you get a hanging note. So I made it possible to send global note offs as well as sustain pedal. So even if I hold a chord, I change channel, and then I release the hand, it will send the note off. So for example, here is just the poly 6, and I can add strings. And now, if I change back to just playing the poly 6, it's not sending any MIDI on notes to the strings, so I will only get poly 6 now. I can add arpeggio. I can have it keep ringing even though I change channels. And when I release the sustain pedal, it's going away. So it's very that was how the synth was set up for this recording. I hope you enjoyed watching how it was all patched together. Have a good evening or day or night. Bye bye.